SM went a bit crazy with that Z pick as well.
Yeah, indeed, really picking it up right there, and interesting that they're taking out the cannon this early on, so not confident in their ability to actually kite it out here. And Maokai eliminated from Aluka as well. Are they going to take another tank out of the pool, or are they going to challenge Spirit? The Ezreal a bit weird as well, considering that was mostly Ninja's pick on WE.
Yeah.
Well, Aluka says, Spirit, you're not getting job, and it actually fans it out from World Elite. Interesting, because Diamond plays Rek'Sai, plays Nidalee, showed he played Lee Sin earlier. I'm not sure I like that job in ban.
Yeah.
Some really weird bans
But maybe it's targeting a Cabochard. Let's be fair, targeting Cabochard, he played a top lane earlier.
That's true.
Let's remember that.
But letting Spirit go with the Rek'Sai, you know, he's shown so much prowess in these really up-and-coming junglers with the Rek'Sai and the Nidalee that you're taking a big risk here. Now, it seems almost obvious that I think Diamond would want to take the Nidalee in response, seeing as both are still up. But the Nidalee against the Rek'Sai matchup is still not the best one in terms of a 2v2 in the top lane, which, you know, may be leading to think that perhaps they don't want to focus the top lane in terms of a 2v2 scenario and just want to leave Cabochard to go into 1v1 and punish Aluka that way. And if they take that Morgana top, well, we know that can be an ambiguous pick, and the Nidalee locked in right from the get-go.
Yeah, for Gambit, though, it is traditionally for Cabochard in the top lane. Eddie has played Morgana in the past, but again, not really his style of champion, and Cabochard was one of the first in Europe to use it successfully. So a little bit of a flex in there. However, I do expect that to be for Cabochard.
We'll have to see. We do have a Jax hover right now, but I think the Janna are going to be the safer bet here. And will we see Xiye go with that Diana one more time? Again, a little bit of a blind pick right there. Could be pretty risky to lock that one in so early. It's very strange that we're seeing this really big emphasis on Diana from WE.
I mean, World Elite must have been screaming SK, and they must have been first picking Diana every single time, because, you know, especially this odd combination of going with the Diana and the Janna. Diana, a champion that wants to get into the backline, and Morgana, one that doesn't allow that. Without the Maokai for Aluka, you know, what engaged champion are they going to be using? You know, I don't think a hecarim is going to be strong enough to facilitate the Diana to get into the backline successfully, specifically if he's against a top lane Morgana who's going to constantly shove in the hecarim, and on top of that, the AP is going to really make that black shield nice and fat, and it's not going to allow the Diana Q or R to honestly break it just instantly.
We'll have to find out how World Elite decide to round out their team composition. 2 picks still to come in for Gambit. They're running the clock down just a little bit. Betsy, known for playing as assassins. LeBlanc still up, Ari still up if he wants to go for the comfort route. Pinoy locking in Graves. He used Graves to take down Counter Logic Gaming December of last year at IEM Cologne. Crepo actually coined killing double lift with collateral damage, going Pinoy. So we'll see whether or not.
That's it. You know, we have a lot of plays in League of Legends, whether it's the insect, but now it's killing specific players with specific abilities.
Correct. It was very clear, because Pinoy did actually, you know what, he stepped up. He surprised a lot of people, and he had a phenomenal series of games. Unfortunately, wasn't able to replicate it as much throughout the year, but comfort pick locked in, and then Betsy going back to the Twisted Fate as well.
As we suspected, the hecarim hover makes me think that they're actually going to go through with it, just because it would really hurt the lineup of Gambit, because they've chosen to go with the Twisted Fate. Now, TF being highly immobile, and a champion that could find it difficult to gank the hecarim, especially with the Morgana, because you find yourself now in a situation having triple AP threats if you commit to the Morgana in the top lane. And, you know, I don't want to see the Morgana be going top lane. Now, unfortunately, what's going to happen is playing against the Sivir Janna lane, you may find yourself struggling, seeing as how they struggled into the COG Nami lane before they came online at level 6. I wouldn't be surprised if the World Elite bottom lane would be able to push in the Gambit bottom lane. I'd much rather see a split push threat here.
Keep in mind, Cabochard could pull a surprise pick and lock in a top lane champion, put that Morgana into support. 20 seconds left before they lock it in. World Elite have definitely got a run you down team composition together.
A very heavy engage composition all around. So WE, I mean, if they can get that proper engage off, then they may be able to make something work right here. Of course, Gambit is a little more immobile in what they're running at the given time, and that's going to be a Thresh lock.
And I gotta say, I much prefer the World Elite draft here. specifically just because the Nidalee, like, I feel like the Gambit lineup could really use a tank, and I feel like with the Morgana, you're not making the best of one of your biggest mismatches in this game. Cabochard is known to be a great top laner, and Aluka not so much. You're putting him in a Morgana who just doesn't have as much kill pressure as an Aurelia, as perhaps a Jax almost. And, you know, it's a little disheartening to see that they're not sticking to their strength.
Yeah, and we do see the TP coming again in the mid lane, and that's going to be pushed in early. I mean, TF is able to clear those waves really fast in the early game. It may be quite a big issue.
Yeah, risky draft coming in here for Gambit. We'll see if they can pull it off right after this.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships for our final game of the day. Team WE taking on Gambit. I am, of course, Joe Miller, joined by Doa and Deficio. What do we think to the lineups here in this one? We were just discussing that the WE team may be very much all in, except the Janna pick, which doesn't maybe fit to that.
No, that's very true. Janna doesn't really fit with the comp. Annie Leona would have made sense. Annie, of course, was banned away in this case here. It's not like Janna is a bad pick, however, even in a very hard engaged composition, will add some protection at least from your backline. But it's a very standard Gambit composition, honestly. A lot of skirmish potential. You can make some aggressive plays on every single champion here. We know Eddie loves to play the Thresh. And also you have some AoE wombo in a team fight, which they like to use. Once they create one pick or get an advantage before Dragon, they just wombo together and destroy you.
Sure enough. Well, here we go, guys. Welcome for the last time tonight to Summoner's Rift. WE versus Gambit Gaming. Loser goes home. Winner moves on to day 2 here at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. And we've seen some interesting picks over the course of the day, haven't we? A couple TFs now, a couple Dianas, some little bit unorthodox stuff.
Yeah, and teleport in the mid lane again for World Elite here. I like it more against the Twisted Fate because he doesn't have the same kill pressure as a Zed will have in the one-on-one lane, and now it allows you to follow Betsy around at least one of the times where he's ulting away, so it does make a bit more sense here. Still, when you run double teleport, you really need good communication and synergy as a team, and this is 2 new players, 2 Koreans, 3 Chinese guys. It's going to be tough pulling off proper teleports in this game.
Yeah, very true, and they're going to be doing it twice as much, potentially. I think the toughest thing in this game for me is going to be pronouncing WE's mid and support players' names.
Give it a go, Doa, come on.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I talked to our translator, Rachel, and she was trying to help me. So the mid laner is Xiye, I believe, and the support player would be YuZhe? YuZhe, maybe?
I don't think she told you that.
It was one of those things. No, it was one of those things where I was trying, and she kept being like, "No, that's not it." We went through it a bunch of times.
Just call it Janna.
Janna.
It's a beautiful name anyway.
WE Janna.
And Eddie is too cool for school, so no trinket for him.
Yeah.
On this Thresh here, not really sure why he didn't notice, or his teammates didn't notice.
On the positive side, no boots either.
That's true. That is true.
Yep.
We did give that idea out earlier on about, you know, you can buy your friends trinkets at the start of games just so that you know, if they happen to miss it. But that feature we thought might be for the supports, not that it'd help in this scenario.
We've needed it. I mean, yeah, as a support, you're the one who should be watching for other people, but Edward, he's just going to start this game without a trinket, going to go home and try to be anointed the blue buff. Meanwhile, Xiye taking a lot of damage. Xiye?
Second time, though, the Gambit with an early level 2 gank. They tried last game as well, where it was Eddie who got level 2 and Annie walked in there. Didn't really gain anything. This time around, they blew a flash and early push on the tower here from Gambit.
Yep, that's right. Well, I mean, early action is the name of the game for Gambit Gaming. It certainly was in their first game today against CJ. But it's interesting to see these two teams play each other because we kind of have, you know, two unstoppable forces running at each other, essentially.
Two teams who definitely likes to fight against each other.
Yeah.
Teams also often is the strategy, honestly, for them. And we should have a fairly explosive game. I want to see how Betsy can use the Twisted Fate here, if he can set up some kills. I mean, there's some CC in the lanes. Morgana in the top lane, Thresh in the bottom lane. I would expect all the focus to be around Pinoy, though, because Morgana, she's just going to sit and farm on her own, then teleport in. And Pinoy is the guy who's going to make the big plays. He's the big carry you could use in the mid-game to really create an advantage.
So Betsy continuing on in lane. Actually, funnily enough, she decided not to use that teleport here to get back into lane.
Did he get a blue buff? Did he just walk down and auto-attack the blue buff once? For Gambit?
They stole the blue buff, yeah.
Wow.
Wait.
We're really on the ball for this one, aren't we?
I'll just go back and...
Well, he still has no trinket. Meanwhile, options down in the bot lane for Gambit as they try to go in onto Yisa, but not able to quite get the killing damage. Diamond a little bit low on mana anyway, so they will just push up this lane for Cabochard.
We still see the same tactic for Gambit, though. You notice how Diamond is always helping out Cabochard here, making sure he can farm early on. He's the big carry for the team. And then also your support when he clearly walks in 1 versus 2, no trinket, still didn't pick one up. And you just smack that blue buff in the face and you pick it up. I mean, that's pretty well played.
Yeah.
He hooked it.
Well, that's even better.
Yeah. Okay. We're all clear on that one. It has been a long day, guys.
Laughing at us now. This is not a good sign, is it?
That's for sure. No. It's probably not a good sign, but
no,
you know,
not at all.
Concentrate on all that stuff.
Luckily, all the fans are gone at this
all
point.
Good. Yeah, just a couple of them watching online. Thanks for you, by the way, that have been tuning in all day. We will, of course, be here tomorrow and on Sunday, where we'll play the grand final and crown a new Intel Extreme Masters World Champion. But for now, it's all about Team WE and Gambit looking to stay in contention here, looking to stay in with a chance of moving through to playoffs.
Yeah, and just to talk about Gambit and the early start here for them. Of course, you got that blue buff, that was great, but also the lane swap. When you have a Morgana, she's one of the best top laners in a swap because she can sit and farm with the pool and just step back from there. And again, basically keep up pretty well. This time around, Cabochard has been denied quite a lot, but hecarim has a lot harder time farming in a lane swap itself. So I like the swap here from Gambit in that case. And I want to see if Pinoy is freezing the lane now here to really try and make it hard for Aluka. He is setting up at least a small one, for him. And you can see Eddie staying in the lane, keep poking away this hecarim, still on 12 CS. Hecarim needs a Trinity Force to really become a strong split pusher and being able to dive onto the back line and kill an AD carry in a team fight. And you deny that and delay it really by having this swap here from Gambit.
We're almost 6 minutes into the game now, and Edwards still is lacking that trinket. I'm sure he'll get it eventually. He did go back and buy boots, though. So he's got that going for him.
They actually saw Diamond coming in here. There was there's a ward on the red buff, which, you know, they've seen this coming in early enough, so I don't imagine that Spirit and Aluka should get into any problems.
Diamond.
But there is the hook landing. He's gone on to Spirit this time. He's the one now that's in a little bit of trouble, but have they got the damage to finish it off? I think Aluka is going to go down. Diamond going very, very low. Xiye did, in fact, TP up into that lane, but it's Gambit that pick up first blood.
Yeah, Cabochard teleporting up there as well to help out. But in the end, Aluka, without that flash, it's tough to get away from a big dedicated gank from Gambit like that. Oh, nice. Chaining of the CC onto Xiye. Doesn't look like they'll be able to pick up the kill, but still, that damage helps.
Really just perfect timing again here. You had the wave that was frozen at first, you kept denying farm from the hecarim, and then as soon as you kill him, you just push the entire wave into the tower here. So he lost all the farm for himself. He has to go to the mid lane now to get something before he can go back to this top lane here. So Gambit been doing a good job trying to shut down hecarim early. Of course, the Morgana itself can go for more utility style, where you go like Morel Normicon into cooldown reduction boots, and you're more of a supportive supportive top laner, which would work okay for Gambit because you got Nidalee, you got TF, you got Graves. There's a lot of damage on that side. But normally when we see Cabochard play, he wants to be the carry. So he's going for like a nuke build of like Death Cabin to Void Staff and really no cooldown reduction. Of course, the Hourglass as well, and just as much burst damage as possible.
You know what? Edward has a trinket. He skipped the ward altogether, just went right for that sweeping lens at 7 minutes.
And he wants another blue buff.
That's right.
Well, he hooked the first one to steal that one away. Let's see what he does this time around. The blue pulled out here, and Spirit's going to try and keep within sight of that one, but doesn't currently have sight of it, which might be a little bit of an issue for him. Diamond on top of that one. Who's going to get it? They do manage to dive in there, but the damage is going towards Eddie. He gets knocked up as well with a Howling Gale, and they manage to pick up that kill. The blue buff, I think it actually went onto Xiye there.
Yeah,
it did.
He got it when he came in. That's right. We kept an eye on that blue buff.
Oh.
Meanwhile, actually, Pinoy just gets the easy kill onto Aluka, apparently.
Pretty standard Pinoy play, honestly, getting random kills out of nowhere, but Gambit, their setup here was Eddie walking in with Diamond trying to take that blue buff, and Betsy came in really late with his ulti, and Pinoy wasn't moving from the top lane as well, so they were kind of just splitting off and seeing if they could steal it, and that's why World Elite could collapse onto them and at least get a kill as well for it, but then Pinoy making 1-1. Let's see.
Let's check this out. Aluka just walking into the tri-brush.
He's one of the few AD carries who's going to dash over the wall and just walk into the tri-brush on his own and be like, okay, what's the top laner? Smack, you're dead.
Yep.
Well, certainly caught him out, and that's what he was looking to do there, as Spirit just helping cover off this top lane, but Aluka is back after his second death of the game. Not the workings of his phage, but nothing concrete at this point, as Edward continues to get a couple of deeper wards down inside of the enemy jungle.
I've got a feeling it's going to be a long time before Aluka's able to get his Trinity Force this game. It's been pretty slow going so far.
Yeah, that's, again, there's the whole tactic for Gambit with the lane swap here. Deny that Trinity Force early on at least. And we see Cabochard on his side. He's going to go for more supportive style. He will get Morel Nomicon for himself on Morgana. So cooldown reduction, more black shields, more bindings. That's the setup for the rest of the carries now to make the plays.
Yep, WE picking up their first dragon. First dragon of the game as well.
And really utilizing that Rek'Sai ultimate nicely there, knowing that there's no pressure on that bottom side and you just ulti over there, and pretty much a freebie actually for Team WE. Actually leaves the gold at about 400-500 difference. Spirit gets his red, and Betsy continues to farm up a bit of a storm in that mid lane. There is the first turret of the game going down, though. It goes in favor of Team WE. Mystic doing a fantastic job in that 1v1 against Cabochard. Actually, most of the damage, I think, came in when Cabochard TP'd up to that top lane and just left Mystic completely free. Pinoy and Edward might be able to get a turret back here for Gambit, though.
And it was the focus we talked about earlier, or before the game even started. It's going to be about Pinoy here on this Graves. When you get a BF sword, it's a fantastic early spike for you. You one of the strongest AD carries, and that's why Cabochard can teleport to that top lane as well. Make sure they got the kill before from that little gank we had, and that's also why they're happy enough sacrificing or trading, we can say, tower for tower, as long as Pinoy has had a good start to the game on this Graves.
He denied a lot of CS and XP from Aluka right there as well, letting the turret kill every last minion in that wave before finally finishing it off. And so far, would it be wrong for me to say that Gambit's team fighting has been, it's been looking a little bit disjointed. It hasn't looked like everyone's kind of on the same page at this point.
At least it was a bit of a misunderstanding around that blue buff, where two guys went in and two guys kind of stayed in the lane and joined a little bit too late. But 2-on-2 lanes now on the top side. Spirit is up here. He wants to be part of something. Maybe we could just push it in and reset the whole thing. As Pinoy is still looking good on Graves into the Sivir. You really don't want to take any trades against the Graves with BF and pickaxe this early on.
Cabochard actually has pushed his bottom lane back out. Aluka catching that one nicely. It's Edward and Diamond here waiting for a catch. And, well, he will just get a face full of Boomerang. Nothing more than that, really.
Yep, Tremor Sense helping them find Edward, and Mystic nearly getting hit with that death sentence, but I think if he would have been worried about actually being hit, he could have spell shielded it. Ooh, look at this, Xiye going in after Diamond in the jungle here. Actually, WE going in as well. Spirit. Yep, there's a Chilling Smite onto Diamond. Betsy coming in as well to try to make a play here. There's a flash. The knockup doesn't hit anyone, and actually, hecarim coming over the wall there, helping Xiye pick up that kill. Meanwhile, the rest of Gambit on the run now. Pinoy, Edward, Cabochard, Edward turning around to try to get a grab off of it. It didn't quite work.
again, for Gambit though here, the way they're trying to set up their fights, they don't really respect how many players from World Elite can be up here. We saw the Sivir Janna on the top side of the map. We know there's a teleport from hecarim, obviously, to join the fight. And Betsy came in, used his combo, and was basically out of mana. Now, nice little hook.
Oh, that's a good monsoon back though, and actually the knock up there onto Pinoy, they can't quite finish off YuZhe, and that will be Mystic keeping them at arm's length as well. Pinoy getting dangerously close from that one. Question now is, what do they do on this top side? Can they hold on to this turret? Spirit is going to come around. They're going to go for Edward. He's out of turret range. Pinoy also being attacked here. That's a great Howling Gale. And Mystic will pick up the kill to put WE ahead on kills. And they should be getting turret number 2 as well.
Spirit did a good job of just kind of scaring Edward away and allowing them to make a very, very easy dive onto Pinoy. And so far, WE seems to be in pretty firm control of this game overall.
A good setup. They got a few D-wards down from the last fight, and TF ulti was gone. TP from Morgana was gone as well. So as soon as they got to that top lane, they knew there was no help for Gambit. And just an easy pickup for them. Aluka was there. Spirit, obviously, from the jungle as well. And honestly, Gambit has been punished for taking some fairly greedy fights or trades for certain objectives. And that's why World Elite is currently hitting gold.
Yeah.
Albeit 1,500, I mean, certainly nothing to sniff at, just 13.5 minutes into this game. As YuZhe just going to go out there, ward himself up that death brush, and clear a little bit out as well. Meanwhile, Spirit visiting that mid lane, not really much for him to pick up. Betsy was playing pretty defensive and just farming off with those wild cards.
Diamond getting a pretty late tier here in Nidalee. Normally what you want to do is have your Hunter's Machete, and then on the first back you just go for that tier, so you really start stacking it early, because the brilliant thing is it's going to be full stack around like 17-18 minutes, and that's a massive spike for you on the Nidalee. But he went back first. He got Skirmisher Saber, which is different on Nidalee, I think it's safe to say. And it's a thing Diamond likes to do. We need to see if he can find some one-on-one duels against the likes of Spirit. But then also he got the Magazine Chant before getting tier, so it's only on 50 mana at this point. It's going to be pretty late to stack up, but now he might be in trouble.
Diamond in big trouble. Xiye coming in as well. Betsy able to get that gold card off to take the pressure off of Diamond. But WE just able to walk into that jungle kind of at will.
You see a lot of magic resist already on Diana here in this mid lane. We're against Morgana, Nidalee, TF. A lot of magic damage. Only Pinoy is going to provide any kind of physical. And that's why he can go for this early on, and why we see Diana so much here at IEM. She really synergizes well with the current items. And Eddie,
yeah, he's going to be in trouble. He's going to fall down straight away. And actually, Pinoy off to the side. He does have Diamond there to help him. The spear will land on Xiye, and there is Cabochard coming in. He's actually going to be out of range in the end. The monsoon will knock them back, and Mystic goes onto the killing spree. He'll be picked up by Diamond, but Xiye really doing a good job of cleaning up. But he's pulled into tower range there. Has to flash away. There's the slow onto YuZhe. Pinoy comes in as well, and 3 men for WE left super low after that one.
Yeah, but a successful team fight at the end of the day. They got a little bit of damage done on that tier 2 as well, and Gambit still being kind of shoved around the map right now a little bit. It's getting quite worrisome at this point.
Yeah, tough for him to get into this fight here. They came for like every flank. Betsy came down from the bottom. Let's see, tower goes down, Eddie gets caught out and dies early on. And this Diana pick, we just mentioned how tanky she is with this early magic resist. So good ulti from Cabochard at first, forcing World Elite to back away. But notice here, Betsy coming with no mana at this point. He has a blue buff, but no real mana else to do anything. And it's just Gambit coming from multiple sides, not really finding the right targets for them. And in the end, have to give up quite a few kills and a mid tower.
Yeah, that's true. Dragon is up. And we'll see if possibly WE can pick up their second one of the game right now. They've increased their gold lead to about 3K, which isn't bad at all. Spirit just kind of biding his time. He's been there for a lot of kills this game. Well, technically half of them. 50%, I suppose.
That is a half in some circles.
If he gets one more, then I can say most, at least.
That dragon here being pink warded out nicely by WE. There is still a ward inside of the Death Brush, which they've not currently scanned and don't actually have any available for that, and no more pink wards left over, so we'll see what Gambit do. It looks like they might just be giving this one up here. WE already starting it off pinging onto Cabochard in that mid lane. So WE going to get Dragon number 2 of the game. Gambit nowhere in sight.
Yeah, way too many wards being placed already by World Elite. Nice setup here, and of course when you run the likes of hecarim, Diana, Sivir ulti, if Gambit tries to come in and they can't really see what's going on, that's a very easy engage for World Elite to just dive onto Gambit there and win the team fight. So they made the right decision in backing away from this Dragon, but still a problem because now World Elite sitting on 2 dragons, 17 minutes in there, hitting gold. They got 3 towers to 1 as well. They've been doing really well in the early game and really punishing Gambit for the plays they've made.
Yeah, so where do they go from here? I want to ask you. I mean, because they've got the entire outer ring of turrets down. Their siege is not the best, obviously, with this composition.
Pretty
so
terrible.
do you just kind of, So do you just kind of play it safe until the next dragon, or do you try to? How do you try to push this lead?
Well, the thing is, you have double teleport, so you can split push 2 lanes at 1, and you also have the Spirit with his ulti.
Yeah, and he's trying to make something happen. Unfortunately, he's getting taken out very quick. Diamond actually helping Cabochard get that kill. Meanwhile, Betsy gets a little bit low in the mid lane. That was an interesting decision by Spirit to ult up there.
Not sure what he was planning on doing, though.
Put it that way.
Aluka already backed away, didn't use his ulti or anything.
Yeah.
Meaning Gambit can now start pushing in, but I mean, you got double teleport on World Elite, you got a global ulti as well, so you can really spread out this map here very easily for them, and Sivir just sitting in the mid lane providing the wave clear. And we have seen how strong Diana is in one-on-ones. You won't beat her with anything on the side of Gambit here. We know hecarim is going to become a fantastic split pusher, so they don't need to siege on the side of World Elite because they don't have to come to do it. Instead, split push, use your teleport from the Diana, from the obviously the hecarim, to create like a numbers advantage in one of the lanes later on. Not like Spirit though, where you jump in and your top lane is already running away.
And the problem is for Aluka there that, you know, if you look down, he's picked himself up the home guards obviously to help with those TPs when he comes in, try and get something working with them, but not going directly for a Trinity Force, which, you know, we were saying earlier on, going to be delayed a bit because of the terrible start. I don't want to call it terrible, but he died a couple of times, didn't get much farm. Wasn't a good start for him either way, but he's still way off getting that Trinity Force.
We've seen this a couple times in Korea and in other regions too, where they do get that early home guard, and the idea is that when you hit those objectives, when you find those team fight opportunities, you can get in there really fast with hecarim. So it's a trade a lot of hecarims have been wanting to make. You do get that less damage, but if you can get the positioning, if you can get the flank, it can be worth it in a team fight.
Yeah, and you got to realize as well, the rest of your members are fairly fed at this point. Your Sivir and your Diana in the mid lane have 3 kills each, so you don't really need to deal the damage anymore. You got the Phage, which will give you some more movement speed. That works well with your passive. You're going to get the home guard as well for the engage, and you're just going to be more of a tank now, which is perfectly fine because your carries are doing well, and you know your composition is about hard engaging onto Gambit every time. Like a Twisted Fate, what is he going to do? If there's no Black Shield on him, and the hecarim ults onto him, he's going to be feared. He's going to die right after from Diana here. So I really like the pickup, and I like the fact he's not just rushing blindly that Trinity Force, making him extremely weak for potential fights.
True enough, Gambit manages to grab their own blue buff. Baron entering the map, but probably won't see any action for a while yet, of course. And WE, you know, we talked about what they can do to get ahead. They've been just kind of doing that. They've been sort of maintaining their lanes, finding fights when they can. You know, sometimes Spirit goes in and dies, but aside from that, it hasn't been bad.
No, and you can see how they're splitting up in 1-3-1. hecarim is down now farming the Wolf camp, but he was just in the top lane beforehand. You got the double teleport ready. Even Spirit can join whatever lane he wants to. No tunnel, however, on the top side of the map for him at the moment. But no, just split it up here. Don't allow Gambit to sit with the Twisted Fate in mid lane, just wave clear all the time. And also, if TF ever tries to gank a lane, you can very quickly join in with 2 or 3 guys because of your globals, meaning Betsy doesn't really have anywhere to go unless Gambit creates a big numbers advantage in one of the lanes, but that opens up World Elite to just push elsewhere, because if you see 5 guys from Gambit suddenly ganking the bottom lane, well, you just push mid or top lane and you trade that for a tower.
And they've outdone them here, to be honest, with positioning as well. A lot quicker to get down that bottom side. Hook did actually land there onto Mystic, but he spell shielded up just in time, and that tore it down to half HP.
And this is what happens when you control all 3 lanes and you push them up to the tier 2 towers, because it allows you to simply walk into the enemy jungle. You know they're not going to be sitting there because you can see them defend at the tower, so you get full information, you get the deep wards to spot if there's any flanks coming in, and it just allows you to quickly move between the lanes because you can go through the jungle, but Gambit has to run all the way around through their own inhibitors possibly, and then down to the tier 2 tower. So you'll always get a few hits, especially with the likes of Sivir, to really fast push the lanes as well and just go in there. So I like the way they're playing it, not allowing Gambit to wave clear and just keep putting pressure on every single lane.
Yeah. Well, some pings going down near Baron. WE thinking about adding some vision now to the pit to just get a little bit ready for that, maybe in a few minutes. Dragon, of course, up in less than a minute as well, too. So this is kind of what WE has been waiting for. And this is kind of becoming a crucial moment for Gambit, I feel like. They can't really give up too many more objectives. This Dragon, even though it would only be the third for Gambit, is starting to get a bit scary as well. So I think if Gambit's going to try to fight something, would you agree this is maybe kind of the best time to try it? Whoa, Betsy getting very low in the meantime.
At least for Gambit, I mean, what they have to do here is try and keep wards in their own jungle so they can spot the quick rotations coming and try and defend their towers while you wait for key items. You need Hourglass for Cabochard first of all if you want to fight. You got it for Betsy now as well, so now he can engage in. So those two items have just been completed. That opens up for Gambit to take a potential 5-on-5 team fight, but only if they have enough vision to start the fight itself and not just risk running down in a choke point against a hecarim ulti and a Diana jumping in and then suddenly you're just dead.
That's a good point.
Oh, they know that these guys are here. There is the Destiny going to be popped. They're going to come in on top of Xiye. He actually will flash that one. We'll use an early Zhonya's, and that means that Eddie misses the hook. Xiye will turn things around. Can he take Betsy down? No, he can't. All five of Gambit collapsing on top of him.
And look at the mid lane.
Almost took Betsy, but the push is real there. We have Mystic pushing up, and that tower is going to take heavy damage.
Heavy damage. The teleport being used by Cabochard now to try and defend it.
Yeah.
3 guys in World Elite. Wild Spirit is taking Dragon.
Well, WE manages to take that turret. They take the Dragon, and if you look at the summoners and the ults used by Gambit in that kill, they use basically everything.
Everything, and all 5 members. So Dragon gone, mid tower as well.
Boy.
Diamond.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
that's a few critical hits right
running
there.
into Mystic there, who's got himself Phantom Dancer Infinity Edge.
Yeah.
Probably not going to be able to escape, even though you've got your pounds. And that will be kill number 7 on the board. The 4th, actually, for Mystic. Funnily enough, it's the 2 new guys into the WE team for this tournament that are currently moving out ahead with the kills. 4-1-1 on Mystic, 3-1-1 on Xiye, and now they're moving down towards what would be turret number 5 if they can finish it off, which they will do here. And Eddie needs to back away. I'm not sure why he's going to stay.
Wow, well, Aluka just using the ult there to make sure that they can pick up that kill on Edward. Gold card loaded up by Betsy, but they're not going to get close enough to really use it. And WE is starting to look a bit like a steamroller here, just slowly grinding the life out of Gambit Gaming.
Just playing it so well, honestly.
Yeah.
Using all these globals they have. We saw how many guys Gambit needs to invest into killing one person because they know there's the risk of Spirit coming up there or the teleport from either Hecarim or Diana as well to join in. So you can't just go 2v1. That's not going to work for you. And really, it's so tough. Gambit, honestly, gonna have to sit back, ward up their own jungle, and try and create a pick in there. If they see someone from World Elite walking on their own, then you quickly collapse. You got the stun from a TF, you got the binding from Morgana, so you can lock down a target, get a quick kill where you don't have to move too far away from your lanes, because then suddenly we're gonna see the same push as before from World Elite, where they just go on the opposite side of the map and take a tower from you.
Yeah, and we're at that position where there's not really that much left on the map. Pinoy might get caught out here. Xiye is surely going to finish him off. The ulti came out of Pinoy, but nowhere near enough damage to finish off Xiye, and that will be a kill number 4 for Xiye, and I think they're just going to turn and go straight towards Baron. They are. Yeah,
they are, I guess, with no AD carry. This still seems a bit risky, though. Betsy using that ult to spot people out. Cabochard with the stun over the wall. Luka taking a lot of damage.
He's going in.
He got it!
Oh!
Diamond steals the Baron, but how many are Gambit gonna lose on the way out? The box dropped by Edward to try to stop the engage from WE. It's not gonna save Betsy. They got some kills off of it, but Baron kept away from WE. Oh, Edward exhausted. It looks like with that flame, maybe no, he's not gonna make it out. So Baron denied to WE, but they lost people on the way out. We'll see if WE is able to take any objectives off this.
Basically the best Diamond could have done there.
Yeah.
Got the steal. Sadly for him, the rest of Gambit was staying nearby. I think Eddie was trying to throw him a lantern, see if he could like jump in, steal it, take the lantern out, but simply meant the World Elite with so much mobility when you have Sivir Hecarim. I mean, you're gonna catch people left and right here if they get caught out. So
Pinoy getting knocked up here as well. This could be really bad for him. There's the ulti in, but actually getting away with that one.
That was the fastest Hecarim retreat I've ever seen, actually.
Yeah, the horse was not that amazing.
Nope.
This time around.
Look at that horse. That horse is not amazing.
All right, so let's see. Diamond goes in for the steal. It's a 50-50, I guess, for him with the black shield already. I want to see if Eddie was there with the lantern. Yeah, there you go. Lantern's there's a setup.
Yeah.
But then because Betsy and Cabochard is there as well, and we just talked about Sivir ulti, hecarim, everything, you will not be able to run away from this comp, and that's why they end up dying, despite getting that Baron.
Yep.
So where does that leave us then? 46 to, let's call it 40,000 gold in favor of WE. 12-5 up in kills, 6-1 in turrets, so that's what's really costing Gambit a lot here. We'll see how moving forward they can do anything about this with a ridiculously fed Diana and Sivir. Certainly going to be hard. As we've seen, they can just charge at you from every angle.
Yeah, well, 6-1 turrets right now, and I mean, if you look at the wards around the map, WE has done a very good job of just completely taking control. Like, Gambit can't go anywhere outside their base without WE knowing about it.
No, it's going to be a little bit harder now for World League to push the last few towers because you no longer have that advantage of the enemy jungle where you can move faster between. But yeah, Gambit doesn't really have anywhere to go. They're going to be stuck in their own base. Dragon is going to come up again. You can just go for the 5th one and then you can go for a dive. We even see Aluka. Because he got so many kills, he even got that Trinity Force. But now, let's see what Gambit can do.
Yeah, he throws a gold card immediately, pop that Zhonya's. Meanwhile, Xiye coming in, doing a lot of damage to Diamond. Nice knockup by Xiye. Xiye's going to chase, and there's another kill on the Betsy. They're just so far ahead right now. Xiye, can he get another one on a Diamond? He uses his Zhonya's Onslaught of Shadows over the wall just to get in there. Cabochard in a little bit of trouble.
Oh, he survived.
Oh,
Never
Aluka.
mind.
Mystic coming in. He is going deep, but that's a double kill. Worth all caps. Type it.
3 for nothing there in the end. Spirit ridiculously low, gets away. Went back home, didn't fully regen. Actually, I don't even know if he went back there, but came back in for this one. It looks like WE with 3 men down are going to look to take at least an inhibitor from this one. The turret is going to go down. There's a TP actually coming in as well. So we're going to have Xiye in there, and we just saw how long he can survive. Diana got a lot of damage. He's pretty damn tanky as well at this point, and this should be 2 inhibs for WE.
Yeah, looks that way. So who needs Baron anyway, right? WE just able to win a team fight down in bot lane, take 2 inhibitors off of that. And keep in mind, that started from Gambit. That was a play attempt made by Diamond and Betsy that just kind of went sour. They have to try something at this point in the game, but it's just a little bit too late. Again,
as you said yourself, they had to try, honestly. You can't just sit back in your base. You're going to lose to it in terms of dragons anyway. Let's see if they want to get some more here. Diana is still very, very tanky. We keep talking about how good she is in the current meta with these builds, Abyssal Scepter, Hourglass. Come a bit of a bruiser jumping in with a lot of damage with your passive as well. Gambit though, they want this dragon. Aluka is going to come with Home Guard TP behind him, however. Let's see if he can pull it off. He's going to ping. He's ping on the map. We can see it.
Here comes the teleport. Get ready for that onslaught of shadows. And he's going to come right down through the middle. Jumps onto Betsy. First of all, there's a nice knockup coming in from Janna. Mystic getting in position. He's a bit low. Diamond getting into the back line. Shuts down Mystic. So this fight may not go as well for WE as they wanted. Looks like they won't need their AD carry, though. Kills all over the place. A double kill for Aluka. Cabochard just going to teleport back. He's got to try to save his base because he and Diamond are all that stands between WE and survival in this tournament.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that they can really hold on to this one, really. We'll see about it as Diamond is going to join into this one. I wonder if they've got the damage to finish this one off with not having Mystic there. They're certainly going to try. Actually, they're focusing on towards Diamond. He will flash away and gets back onto the fountain, but the first Nexus turret is going to go down. WE looking for victory right here. Thresh is going to come back up. Can Eddie be a hero for Gambit? I think it's too little too late for them. WE down to half HP. They'll manage to finish off the Nexus and win the game to keep their hopes alive here in the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship.
WE moving on, Gambit Gaming out of the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. WE just had control of that game from second 1, it seemed like, and they just never let